Welcome back. We are almost there, you guys. And if you have been joining me to make one part per day, then this is your third day. Congratulations, you made it to the third day and we're so close to being almost there. Part 3 will cover how to make the slip pockets, the zipper tabs, and the back zipper. Should be very quick today. All right, let's get started. So for the slip pockets, we will need 2 pieces. We will need B2 and C2. This will be the slip pocket lining and this will be the exterior of the slip pockets. To do so, we will do the same step as yesterday where we will grab each piece and mark the top and bottom center points. How have you guys been so far? Are you enjoying the journey to sew this crossbody bag so far? Are there any tips or new tricks you learned throughout and that you would like to share with me? If you have any tips or tricks that you learned from sewing this bag, leave me a comment down below. I would love to learn from you. What are your favorite types of bags to wear beside a crossbody bag? I love crossbody bags, and my next favorite is a backpack. I always love a backpack over a tote any days. All right, once you mark the top and bottom center points of each piece, and you're gonna take that and put right side down onto the right side of the exterior piece. Align it in place. Next, we're gonna take this to the sewing machines and we're gonna sew it around the rectangle. At the bottom of the rectangle, we're gonna leave a little gap. Depending on what kits you bought, that gap could be varies. So read your booklet, instruction booklet, and check the gap. Although it doesn't have to be precise, it's just for us to turn out this little slip pocket later. So for me, I'm just gonna do a rough estimate. I'm gonna mark so that I know where to stop, but I won't measure. Okay. My needle is still a size 80-11 from yesterday and I haven't changed that. So before I sew, I'm gonna change this needle back to a size 116. All right, we're all good to go. I'm gonna start sewing at the top center point and work my way around this rectangle. And again, you're gonna sew this with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I totally forgot to do this earlier, but if you have a hard time getting your fabric to stay in place, what you could do is use some vinyl clips and clips the pieces temporarily in place. I am so used to this that I totally forgot to do that. I'm currently at the mark spot that I marked earlier, and to make sure when I turn this piece right side out, I don't inadvertently rip this spot, I'm going to backstitch about 1 to 2 stitches right at the mark spot. And then what you will do is lift your needle all the way up. Put your pressure foot up, then pull your fabric slowly until your needle is roughly at the spot where you mark on the other side. Lower the pressure foot down. Your thread might be a little tight here, but that's okay because we're gonna cut this later. And I'm gonna do a couple forward stitch and a couple backward stitch, just to hold the thread in place like before. Then we continue sewing all the way around. For this side, what you want to do is cut this thread right where it is. We are now ready to turn the slip pocket right side out. Do this step carefully so that you don't rip the stitches at the opening. Try your best to pull out all the corners, although it might be a little tricky with your fingers. So my favorite way is to use one of these turn out tools. Take your time, poke all the corner out because it will make your bag look very nice. Now you see, because we sew along the side here, this big opening, naturally the fabric will want to fall inwards, following the seam that we created on each side. So in order to close up this little gap, fold and just kind of crease it in place. Make sure none of the raw edges are visible. So let me show you on this side so it's more visible for you to see. But see how it's sticking out? Just fold it in, follow the seam that you already made. Now we're gonna take it to the sewing machines and sew at 1/8 of an inch across to close up the gap. Grab one of the interior lining, C3. It doesn't matter which one, they're all the same. The side that have the cutout square is the bottom of the lining. The other side will be the top. In order to perfectly align this here, we'll need to mark the center points of each piece. Now, since we are laying this on here and sewing directly on here, to mark this top center point on this piece, do not cut a rectangle because it will be very visible. So what I recommend here is to make a little mark with a pencil or something that it's erasable so that it's not visible to the back. You know, like when you look inside your interior lining, you do not want to see that there's a missing corner here or that there's a mark here. I usually kind of crease it with my hand quite roughly, just so because when you open it, you can see the crease, and that to me is good enough. Then you do the same for the other piece. This one, you could definitely cut the corner to mark the top center points. You do not need to use an erasable pen. Now, to align this piece, we want it to be of roughly 3 inches below the top center mark point of the interior lining. So what I usually do is I lay a ruler and then I kind of eyeball. The reason why I selected 3 inch was I found that to be the perfect distance when you stick your hand in and try to look for something. Now secure this piece in place. Since I'm using binder clips, and if you are using sewing clips, it's quite hard to secure this in place because this piece is not going all the way to the edge. This is what I do. I'll take the side and I fold it in place against the edge of the slip pocket. Then I'll take a binder clips and I'll clip it in place. I usually do 2 clips. You could then secure one at the bottom as well, just so that it doesn't wiggle. We're gonna sew the both side and the bottom. The 1/8 of an inch seam allowance at the bottom should align with your previous stitches. That way it's not visible that you have an extra stitch here. All right, to the sewing machine we go. Now, the corner of the slip pocket will be the weakest point because that's where we start sewing. To prevent the corner from coming off or the thread from unraveling there, we're gonna back stitch there as well. And there you have it, a nice slip pocket. All right, let's move to the back zipper and zipper tabs. For this step, you will need the other zipper, which is E2, the zipper that is the longer, or the one that you haven't sewed yet. And then you also need the 2A2 piece. This will be the zipper tabs. Why did we put zipper tabs on this zipper? The reason we're doing this is because we want to make the zipper look professionally blend in with the back. If you do not have zipper tabs, what will happen is when you sew and you turn the back right side out, your zipper raw edge will stick out and it does not look professionally made. So what we usually do as a trick to make it look professional is we will add a zipper tab at the end so that it looks like it's part of the bag. Blend in. A little hidden tricks, right? All right. So first we're going to do is prep the zipper tabs. Then we're going to take care of the zipper next. For the zipper tabs, we will do a bookful. So take your zipper tabs. Since these are square, it doesn't really matter. But if yours is not square, make sure you have it at the right width and the right height. You usually want to fold it in half in the lengthwise direction. Open it. Fold the edges towards the center mark line. Once you have that, fold that in half again. And there you have it. A zipper tab ready to be sewed to the zipper. Repeat the same step for the other tab. Now set these aside. Now for the zippers, I have in the instruction to sew a vertical lines at the end of each side of the zipper. That instruction is added for beginners in case you're scared of sliding off the slider by accident. If you are an experienced sewer, you do not need to do that steps. You can actually just go ahead and put the zipper tab onto the zipper end and then secure in place and sew a line across. But first, if you see any fraying, just give it a little snip. Let's go to the sewing machines. Sew the zipper end with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Go slow over the zipper teeth to avoid breaking your needle. This is just to temporarily secure in place. So a perfect stitch and a precise seam allowance doesn't really matter. Tap that. Oops, that was my fault. I have it on reverse and I want it to go forward. No wonder it doesn't work. Take the zipper tabs you made and insert the zipper ends into your zipper tab. Temporarily secure in place with a clip. Repeat the same for the other side. Now don't worry about really centering it because at the end later we will gonna cut whatever's hanging out. So don't worry too much about that. Take it to your sewing machines, and if you are to measure the seam allowance from this edge inwards, it will be roughly about 3/4. The goal is to get as close to this edge right here on this side, top stitching. That way it holds the zipper in place and you have a nice top stitch edge along here. Here you have it. If when sewing the tab it slipped a little bit, that's okay. Because as long as it's not where the zippers are, it doesn't really matter. Because the next step we're doing is to cut off the edge here. Take a scissors, trim the edge. Don't worry about being perfect in the steps. I snapped the scissors. I snipped the zippers. It's okay. It's all fixed, all beautiful. So there you have it. See how the zipper look nicer already? Just with a small added on of a zipper tab. And that is it for part 3. Very simple, like I promised. I figured it's part 3 landed on a Wednesday if you start part 1 on a Monday. So I didn't want to add too much to part 3. Hopefully that make your Wednesday a lot more fun. I know for sure Wednesday is always a rough day of the week for me because it's the middle of the week. But trust me, we are almost there. We're almost finished with this bag, and I can't wait for part 4. It's one of my most favorite parts to do, making the adjustable straps. So come and join me tomorrow for part 4, where we will be making the D-rings and adjustable strap.